part of our show where our headliners are coming to the stage. Our comic coming up right now, she has a master's degree in writing, ladies and gentlemen. That's legit right there. And her parents are so proud that she's using it and putting it to good use. And she's coming to the stage right now. Her name is Amy Dodd. Let's go, everybody. Let's go.
Hey, guys. Ready for some songs? I am not going to do that to you, and you should be happy about it. How are you? So what can I tell you about myself? I'm married. Wow, you guys must be married too. I actually think being married is awesome because I really hated shading. I didn't get married until I was 34 years old because I thought it was important to wait until somebody asked me. And before that, you know, dating had been awful. I had a series of relationships, one after another, that would end right at the 3-month mark. And I think that's because that's how long it would take me to realize they didn't want to be with me anymore because they told me so with words. My husband and I met through this really popular new dating website, MySpace. I know, but you guys, this was like 8 years ago. These days I think about MySpace the same way I think about my vagina. You know, it used to be this fun, exciting way to meet new people. And now it's just this old, forgotten thing that no one even uses anymore. I'm looking at my mom. I never get tired of watching my family squirm when I do that joke. My husband proposed to me on the front, this is true, the front steps of the Psycho House at Universal Studios. Some women get proposed to on the beach, some in front of the Eiffel Tower. I got proposed to at the place women go to die. So I kind of had to say yes. But you know, Norman Bates even presented the ring, which was really scary because no one had even hired him. It just turned out he really likes jewelry. And I thought the Psycho House was appropriate because marriage is a lot like being in a horror movie. You know, everything seems normal at first until one day you realize you've had a crazed maniac hiding in your house all along. And I'm good at hiding. Especially when holding a knife. I was having breakfast with my husband the other day, and all of a sudden he holds up his breakfast sandwich, and he goes, "You know, he really does make a good sausage." And I went, now by he, do you mean Jimmy Dean? And he's like, yeah. Okay, so in my husband's mind, Jimmy Dean himself, who's dead by the way, is alone in the factory, working his fingers to the bone, day in, day out, molding sausage patties in a struggle to meet the world sausage demand. Clearly, you know, my husband is the person that name brands were invented for. But it made me worry what else he might be confused about. Like, does he worry why we never get Christmas cards from his Uncle Ben? Does he think that we can only buy cereal when Captain Crunch is on shore leave? Is he frustrated that Dr. Pepper is never in network? That's a PPO joke. So now we're trying to have a baby. Because we could really use some help around the house. And I just took a pregnancy test, mostly because I like peeing on things. negative. Don't you guys think it's weird that we call it a negative result? I mean, doesn't it kind of depend what you were going for? When I was in my 20s, finding out I wasn't pregnant was like narrowly escaping a great white shark attack. You know, it was like, oh my God. That was so close. But now that I want to be pregnant, I feel like I could swim right up to the shark with like a bleeding limb, and the shark would just be like, I'm good, you know? I already ate. Late lunch. And the whole plus minus thing with pregnancy tests makes me feel way too much like I'm being graded. Like if it's negative, it means I've just failed pregnancy 101. I think the whole process should be less judgmental. Like if you're pregnant, you get a picture of a little baby. Not pregnant, you get a picture of a little martini. Either way, you win. But you know, I'm 36. So at this point, my eggs are like disgruntled employees. You know? They're like, listen, we're just not seeing any opportunity for growth here. You've been ignoring us for years. We hardly get no chances to network no more. And every single month, you let one of us go. We're sick of it, said my eggs, defiantly. They're unionizing now. I'm afraid they're gonna go on strike, you know, just carrying tiny little picket signs, just a drawing of my uterus with a line through it. Everybody's very sad about my eggs and their protest. Thank you. I'm actually feeling kind of crampy. Is anybody else feeling crampy?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's happening. It's already happening. We're syncing up. You guys, when women hang out together too long, sometimes barely at all, when women hang out together too long, our cycles start to sync up. Don't you think that's scary? I know you guys must think that's scary. We're like the Borg, you know, from Star Trek. Just slowly assimilating women into one collective pissed off being. You get enough of us together, we could probably destroy the universe, or at least ruin your night. Resistance is futile, bitch. You better beam yourself to the CVS, because we're all wearing the red shirt today. Crazy shit is gonna go down. Yeah, so I just made a joke where I compared Star Trek to PMS. So try to get that association out of your head. You're welcome, nerds. When people first meet me, a lot of times what they'll notice is this crazy hair. But this is not a perm. I'm naturally Jewish. Some people tell me I don't look Jewish because they're racist. I went to an all-Jewish school from the time I was in kindergarten to 9th grade. It was so Jewish. By the time we got to junior high, our books should have been made of matzah. At graduation, instead of getting diplomas, we'd each just perform a live bris. Those are tricky though, so before we could get it right, we need a few tips. The band would play Pomp and Circumcision. Do you want more? No, I won't do that. And I'm a middle child, so growing up, I always got a lot of secondhand affection. People were always forgetting about me and confusing me with my siblings, until finally one day I put my foot down and I said, "You have to try harder, Mom." As a middle child, I always felt like there were things that I wanted that I could never have, like to not have any siblings. I'm just kidding. I love my siblings. I just always wanted an identity of my own. For years, my mom would make my sister and I share clothes until she finally realized we wouldn't both fit. When I was a baby, my sister got really upset one time when I chewed up one of her doll play sets. I wasn't teething or anything. My parents had just forgotten to feed me. And actually, I had so much trouble keeping my parents' attention when I was a kid that they forgot me one time at a shopping mall, accidentally. Like, told me it was accidental. Because, you know, middle children are like fender benders on the highway of parenting. Unless there's a serious injury, you're probably just gonna drive on by. Not even gonna stop and look. I just got back from a bachelorette party, and I have to ask you guys, when did penises become the decoration for a bachelorette party? I mean, it's kind of strange because it's like this parade of pretty penises in every possible color, size, and shape. And it's like you're taunting the bride with all the things she will never get to have ever again. That's like putting up a bunch of birthday banners on death row. And they had a stripper at the bachelorette party. And it made me realize that men and women hire strippers for different reasons. Men hire strippers to act out their fantasies. Women hire strippers to act out their nightmares. Think about this. As women, we spend most of our lives trying to avoid and deflect guys' overly aggressive and inappropriate sexual advances. And then what do the minute we have the power? We hire a guy to basically assault our friend by forcefully shoving his crotch in her face as she screams in horror and we all stand around clapping and cheering him on. Anywhere else, that dude would be arrested for assault, but at a bachelorette party, he gets a bigger tip and free beer. I've been running a lot the last few years, not to lose weight, I'm just really paranoid. And I just feel better when I'm wearing my running clothes, because they're my favorite pajamas. I was in Vegas with my sister, and she made me get up early to go running with her down the Las Vegas Strip, which was a nice change of pace because normally at the end of a run, I get like a granola bar, and this time I just got thrown up on. I know. I was so surprised I almost spilled my margarita, which is hard with those Eiffel Tower glasses. But I'm proud to say that as of this year, I've completed 5 LA marathons. Thank you. So for those of you who don't hate yourselves, when you run for that long, it causes a lot of friction in really weird places. So at this point, I pretty much have no nipples left. I'm just smooth, like Barbie, but not as firm and lower. But the friction's good because if I get lost, I can just send out a smoke signal. Now you guys are picturing smoke coming out of my nipples. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much, you guys.